Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JS News for Monday, October 30, 2023. A 5.6 magnitude earthquake rocked Jamaica about 10:57 this morning. According to the earthquake unit, the epicenter of the earthquake was approximately 10 kilometers south of Buff Bay, Portland. The earthquake hit 35 kilometers northeast of Kingston. The quake was felt in eastern Jamaica and other parishes. Other countries affected were the Bahamas, Haiti, and Cuba. The National Works Agency, NWA, and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, are currently conducting damage assessment. Prime Minister Andrew Holness also gave this update.
Damage has been minor, but nevertheless, we are taking all precautions. All our protocols have been activated, and generally, what we have seen is that the damage that has been assessed is not significant, but nevertheless, we are taking all precautions. Just to be clear, we have experienced some break in electricity and communications, but the report so far is that most have been restored. Our airports are open and we have not received any reports of death. And so we give God thanks for sparing us the worst.
In other news, the Sangster International Airport is implementing several anti-traffic measures in anticipation for a busy winter tourist season. During a recent tour of the facility by Transport Minister Darrell Vaz, CEO Shane Monroe shared the work plans.
Expanding the check-in area, that is work that is going to commence shortly, but in advance of that Christmas season, we're taking out certain areas, concessions that we're going to convert into operational space for passenger circulation. We're doing a lot of work on the roadway. We are splitting the traffic that enters the airport into two separate loops, arrivals and departures. People who are dropping off passengers will not need to go to the arrivals area, and that's going to take just about 50% of the traffic off the arrivals curb.
Other improvements to be added in the short and medium term include more self-service kiosks and biometric machines to reduce passenger processing. Mr. Monroe said the expansion of the immigration hall, upgrades to departure gates, as well as facilities for the movement of travelers are also in the works. Meanwhile, Minister Vaz is assuring visitors that special measures will be implemented to ease travel inconvenience for the upcoming winter season.
I'm satisfied with the plans in relation to MBJ in terms of how they're going to roll out in terms of the expansion of the airport itself, in terms of additional square footage in critical areas, and of course access to the airport from the major thoroughfare, which is also very important, which will allow for free flow both in terms of vehicular traffic and of course human passenger traffic.
Companies will be given time to comply with the full requirements of the Data Protection Act 2023 beyond the start of the registration process on December 1. The act, which was passed in 2020, takes effect on December 1 this year and speaks to the regulation of data controllers and processors. The assurance came from Minister with responsibility for skills and digital transformation, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. She says, based on feedback from the public and private sectors, consideration will be given for compliance to take place on a phased basis.
The plan is for December 1 to start the registration process, and over time we'll give companies some time to comply. And the details around that, given that we've just finally been able to get where our private sector partners and our government partners are in getting ready, we will be able to announce how we will roll in the Data Protection Act and the requirements around registration.
Meanwhile, Information Commissioner Celia Barkley said her office is doing its due diligence to establish the framework to ensure a resilient and robust system.
In our legislation, we have opted to register data controllers. We have taken the approach of, as a first step, being able to identify controllers, being able to identify their data processing activities, and using that information as a foundation based on which we're able to monitor and investigate issues concerning data protection.
Ms. Barkley emphasized that the approach requires the meticulous build-out of essential support systems to facilitate registration. That work, she says, is ongoing in consultation with public and private sector partners. And finally, a total of 126 primary and 56 secondary schools are being targeted for intensive intervention. This is being done as the Ministry of Education and Youth puts measures in place to get back to pre-COVID literacy levels. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams said the targeted institutions are those that received an unsatisfactory rating in certain key performance indicators KPI. These include teaching in support of learning, student academic performance, student academic progress, and curriculum and enhancement programs. Overall, a total of 248 underperforming schools will receive support under the School Improvement Framework to improve literacy rates.
We're back on track for 2023. The grade 4 test was administered and we expect the results by November 17. Our targets, we want to get back to the 80% this year. For 2024, 2025, 85%. And for 2025, 2026, 90%.
Minister Williams was addressing a recent post-cabinet press briefing. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.